Trashy, where we take a dumpster dive on this week's garbage people and look at all the trashiest news stories. My name is Erica, and I'm your host.
My name is Cassandra, and I'm your other host. Wow, our first show of 2024.
Welcome to 2024.
We took a decently long break there.
We didn't mean to.
Well, yeah,
but we did.
But also, I mean, we're entitled to like Hell's Kitchen was off for like 3 weeks too, and it's like this is all pre-recorded. Like, why couldn't they have those episodes air? But they didn't, because they were even giving the people at Hulu and Fox a week off. You know, like, it's allowed. We should allow it.
We should allow it. If Gordon Ramsay needs rest, I'll allow it.
I do love him.
I do love him. I constantly anytime I'm cooking, I just walk around the house going, "It's raw!" And Winston's like, "That's not a good impression." But anyway, he loves me so, you know. Cass, it's a new year, and we really want to set a good precedent, right? So
yes,
as trend makers, trendsetters, we need to let people know what's in and what's out right now.
Trend followers, I'll even say, because I mean, like, look, it's January 8th right now, and everybody was doing this. We took a break, but yes, what are the trashy ins for 2024, and what are the trashy outs? Like, what's your first in, Erica?
Okay, my first in is fraud crime.
Okay.
Like, maybe you fraudulently state how much money you make on paperwork to get a mortgage. Okay? Like, it's like we are being suppressed by the man and the systems are stacked against us. I say it's time for the average man to rise up. And if we have to do a little bit of fraud to do it, we do it. But I'm just saying, I think fraud, little fraud, don't hurt a small business, but fraud is in.
I suppose, like, legally settling way to say that for our podcast is if you can't beat them, join them.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. Got it. Cool.
That's pirate law.
Well, my first in of 2024, premium economy or higher. Okay, I'm done with it. I work too hard being frauded by the man, frankly, to then travel back in coach. And I know how this sounds, and I just don't care. Premium economy or higher in 2024. In.
Love it. Love it. My in. Pre-worn clothes. We're not contributing to the global warming, to the consumerism thing. We are shopping Poshmark. We are shopping Depop. We are shopping Vinted. We are shopping thrift. We are shopping upscale, whatever. But we are not jumping on the newest trend. We are shopping my Poshmark, iconic Erica. I'm a Poshmark ambassador now, not to brag. But I'm just trying to get out of this constantly chasing. If something has a hole in it and you can't repair it, get something new. Otherwise, what are we doing? Like, chasing the next going out top all the time? It's out. It's out.
I mean, you don't gotta tell me. You don't gotta tell me. I love renting. If you ever want to sign up for Newly, you reach out to old Sea Dog and I'll give you a referral code. So I like it. My next in, gel pens. Can you ever recall a time where you were more high on life than middle school, putting together your planner for the year with a fresh pack of gel pens? Like, none of them had been borrowed yet. None of them had been lost. Like, you have all 6 gel pen colors. They have the sparkles in it. Well, guess what? They still make that shit. So I say, when you're doing your 2024 resolutions or your 2024 bullet journal, 2024 whatever, notes on your hand, Do it in a gel pen. That's what I think. That's in.
I've never been more powerful than when I had a pastel gel pen on a black notebook.
Oh my God, on the black. I forgot about that. You get the gel pens and then you get the black notebook. Whoa.
I've never been more powerful as a human than when I had that streak going. So yeah, well, all right. In little snacks. So you've heard of girl dinner. I'm talking little snacks all the time, making it cute. Last night, I had little snacks for dinner. And I don't want to call it girl dinner, but what I had, chopped an apple up nicely. I had the Cheesecake Factory bake at home brown bread with my French butter. I had what I'm going to be hoarding later, these little crisp. I had some goat cheese with honey. And I had the most, not a vegetable to be seen in my little snacks. Okay, because I had a big salad for lunch. But just little snacks. I just love little snacks, and make it cute for yourself. Make your own little cheese plate and charcuterie boards at home for dinners. I love it. Little snacks all the time. Little snacks.
My mother-in-law got me a book, like a cookbook for Christmas, and it's all
Don't
about...
take that personal.
No, I didn't. I didn't. She got me other
you
stuff.
Feed my son.
She got me a cookbook that has platters and boards specifically.
Oh, I love that.
And she packaged it within the accoutrement of tiny forks, tiny spoons, tiny knives.
Very cute. I love tiny whisk, tiny spatula, tiny fork, tiny knife. I love tiny.
This is a Patreon exclusive. That's for the Patreon. If you're on our Patreon, you heard that. If you're not, sorry, but your bad luck. My last in, we talked about him a little bit because I can't stop talking about him in general. But my last in for 2024 is Gordon Ramsay helping people when they pass out on his shows, and that being super sexy.
Ooh.
Patreon exclusive. Yeah, so I've been binge watching MasterChef for no reason at all, and anytime anyone passes out or cuts themselves or anything, or there's a fire on Hell's Kitchen too, Gordon is the first one over there, and it's like, he doesn't have to. There is crew for this. And I don't know if he's doing it for the cameras or if he's just that kind of guy, but there's nothing hornier on television, in my opinion, than Gordon Ramsay being like, can we get a medic? We need a chair. Just right here, darling. Don't worry, darling. Like, and holding their hands. I'm like, like I want to, if I ever see Gordon Ramsay, I'm going to like pretend to pass out in front of him.
And he's just going to be like, oh, I'm not being filmed right now. Can someone get this woman out of my way?
We'll see. That's, I guess, going to be the test. Okay, yeah. Erica, what's out?
Okay, gun crime.
Okay, sure. Yeah, girl.
Not to get political, it's just annoying.
It is annoying.
It's annoying. Like, can we just stop with it for a minute? Like, or if you're gonna have a gun, bring back muskets, where it takes me 18 minutes to pack another one in. Like, I'm just gun crime. I'm so over you. It's annoying. It's trashy.
The guy LaPierre or whatever, who was like the head of the NRA forever, like 30 years, he recently stepped down, and I felt disappointed when I read that headline because my initial reaction was, oh, yay, he's dead. But he's not dead. He just stepped down from the NRA, which I guess is also good, but like anyways, yeah.
Was a part of you about to say I was disappointed because it's not because he was shot?
I mean, I was thinking that just now of like, I suppose if he is going to die, she should die the way that but like, does he want to die that way? I bet he does. I bet.
Ugh, a martyr.
Yeah. All right. Out. 2024 out. I refuse to continue to be owned by my Duolingo streak. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm done with it. It gives me anxiety. I'm on like 200 and 60 days or something like that right now. And I was talking to a friend of mine and she says, oh yeah, I have a 2-year streak going right now and I do not speak French. And it's like, see, this is the issue. I have the streak and it's in a language that I speak already, but I'm like the notification, I don't know, it just stresses me out. And I'm like, who is this for? Why am I doing this to myself? So it's out. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I haven't given it up yet, but I will. I will give it up. Oh, I will.
You know what? What I heard, and I support you, is fuck them other people that don't speak my language. So I support that. Yeah, I am with you.
That's what I meant. Yep, that's what I meant.
Is that the message you wanted? Yeah. Okay.
If you don't speak English, all right, sorry. I'm not going to finish that sentence. It's not. You get it. You get the joke I was going to make.
I get it. All right.
Joke.
What's out is everything about you or pertaining to you or in some way has to. Like, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Like, me being like, hey, I'm eating berries and steak and that's working for me. And then somebody coming in online or like in the comments and being like, well, if you don't have this much bok choy in your diet a day, babe, I got it. Don't worry about me. I'm okay. Like, I say I like to do spin classes and you're like, well, actually spinning is really bad for your glutes and you should never do it because your knees. Don't worry about me. It's okay. Thank you so much. I have doctors and friends and loved ones that will tell me when XYZ is really a problem. I don't need your online expertise. I get it. I have the instinct to but I'm not gonna. So if it doesn't apply to you, let that fly. And maybe consider, because someone hasn't given okay, I understand I'm coming from this place and I have this and I do this and this is only applying to me. Maybe instead of someone having to say those 18 precursors of like, this is this and I know I'm the only one and like this is I'm special for this. Maybe just think, just because they say I like jam doesn't mean they fucking hate steak tartare. They just said I like jam. You know, like just let's release that in 2024. It's out, okay? It's out in 2024.
Well, then buckle up, because I'm throwing out in 2024 oatmeal.
If you don't have enough oatmeal in your diet, your liver will shrivel up and you will cough out your liver. Like, I'm already typing a reply, Cassandra.
Here's the thing. It started probably like last year, you know, like, because I've been adopting like a heavily plant-based diet, or maybe it's been over a year now. And I find breakfast to be difficult, eating plant-based. You know, I love an egg. And so to rid my life of eggs was difficult and not something that I've even done successfully yet. I'm going to be fucking honest, but don't you write a comment, be like, you can't be plant-based. Please. I know. So I tried oatmeal because they're like, oh, you don't plant-based, eat that oatmeal. This shit makes me sick. I get nauseous. I can't, and it's not just oatmeal, it's oat milk. It's oat. If there's granola and there's like a heavy oat present, like I don't even mess with my former favorite cookie in the world, oatmeal raisin. I don't even mess with it anymore because I can't. I have developed some sort of allergy or something to oats. And so to that I say, oatmeal, you're out for 2024.
Well, oatmeal sucks.
Yeah.
End of statement. But they do breakfast is hard for me because I don't like eggs at all. So my breakfasts often are very carb or meat heavy entree because too much fruit in the morning makes me poop. But
you need to have the fruit in the morning.
You need to have the fruit with the oatmeal, and you don't have to. Yeah, I know. We get it. Thank you. I don't need I have a nutritionist. It's called Instagram. Okay, I don't need you all. There is a white woman in Massachusetts telling me what I need to eat every day. Okay, I'm good. But there are no egg, like there's like plant-based egg things.
Yeah.
I know, I'm just throwing it out there. I got a couple bandanas from them at a music festival, so like I'm practically an ambassador for them. So
have you tried them though?
Fuck no. Eggs are nasty. You are all
Copy
gross.
that. What's your last out?
Sorry.
That's funny.
Okay, this like nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to work anymore. I had a boomer tell me yesterday that he didn't take a sick day for the first 2 years of work, complaining about young people having COVID and taking off 2 days of work. He's like, man, I didn't take a sick day for the first 2 years, you know? As if like I was gonna be like, oh, I'm with you. We're commiserating. I get you. I was like, that's insane. Because if you die tomorrow, they will replace you. Ask your coworkers for a donation for flowers and never fucking think about you again. What is this Duolingo streak of work that you have in you? Because they don't care. They don't care. So I just, this like the work ethic and nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work, buddy. It's it's okay. But don't brag about yourself. You're like, I had my pancreas out. I was in the hospital for 3 hours, refused the sedation so I could be at work at 6 a.m. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, you should have gone to your kids' t-ball games. That would have been better. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, these people are mad at the wrong people. We have a saying in this house, which is going to sound rude, but it makes us laugh here. Do you want a fucking medal? Is the saying in this house. So I'm like, hey, I just did the dishes. Okay, do you want a fucking medal? And that's what comes to mind when someone says, I didn't take a sick day for 2 years. Okay, do you want a fucking medal? Why are you telling me this?
What are your kids' middle names? Do you know them? Or I bet you know your boss's favorite, how he orders his martini. I know. I don't condone that. And I'm a hard worker. Here's the thing about me. I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to need you to think I'm doing a good job. I work, okay? When I fucking put my head to it, I work. But I hate that attitude. So anyway, I'm taking a break from all of it, though. I'm trying to take a break from all of it.
Final out that I'm going to put out there for 2024, taking your whole family to go to a place. Okay? All
like Disneyland?
No. No, that I guess makes sense a little bit. But like all 8 of you don't need to go to Costco. You know? Like it doesn't like everyone in the house, all 6 people, including like the baby and like grandma who barely moves, all of you need to go to Porto's to get takeout. That's too big of a group. Okay? Like,
well, you know we can't leave grandma unattended with the baby since the incident.
Okay, I'm looking at 2 parent families with multiple kids, some of the kids being at least teenager level. There are that's 3 adults to me. If this was a crime, that's 3 adults with how they treat teenagers. So I'm saying no one could have stayed
this teenager as an adult.
I'm charging this teenager as an adult and saying he could have stayed home and watched grandma and watched the 3 younger siblings. And honestly, one of the parents could have stayed home too. And one person could have gone to Porto's. Guess what Porto's has? An online menu. You know, and like it's Costco, it's everywhere where it's just like you see 7 people get out of the car and they don't even stop for hot dogs, which I guess you can justify of like everyone let's go get hot dogs or $1.50 and there's 7 of us. No, they don't stop for hot dogs. They just all go shopping. And it's like there's no space
lunacy
for this.
Yeah.
You can't do this. It's like, please, that's out for 2024. We need to lower our impact. I mean, I'm sure they're all taking one car. If they're not taking one car, then that has been out for years. But like, it's not necessary. Like, you see one person doing the shopping, 4 kids all texting, wishing they were home. Like, grandpa being dragged along like by a leash, basically, for paper
the toddlers
towels.
And grandpa are on the leashes, so we don't lose them.
And it's like, for what? So that you could be like, hey, everyone, all 6 of us, let's all try on different puffy jackets and then leave them on the ground. Like, no, get people's sizes and leave them at home. It has to stop. It's out.
I'm now a member of a two-car household, and
okay,
not to brag, not to brag, but the first time Winston came home with me for Christmas, he came over to my grandma, and I am from a big family, but we go over to grandma's for Christmas, and there are no less than 50 cars in like the driveway, pasture yard, basically. And Winston's like, oh my God, your family's so huge. There's 8 families, basically. Grandma, grandpa, there's 6 kids. Maybe a friend come over. He's like, how are all these, who are all these people? And it's like, oh, like one family might drive 3 cars to grandma's. Do they live 2 miles away? Absolutely. But we're all going to want to leave at different times. So we're all going to drive individual cars. His mind was blown.
It's a tough position, But what's not a tough position? An ad break. Baby trash cans, are you in the market to make your personal care routine a little bit more eco-conscious? Because natural deodorant is a great place to start.
Cass, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about Wild, the UK's #1 natural deodorant company that's focused on performance, style, and sustainability.
With 100% vegan formula ingredients derived from plants, Wild is focused on making their deodorant safe for the humans and the planet.
Oh, so no skin-irritating complex chemical compounds?
No mama and no aluminum salts or parabens. Or aluminium, since it's from the UK.
Sign me up!
Funny you should say that, because Wild offers flexible subscription services, or you can purchase one at a time.
Well, that's convenient. Oh, and it looks like Wild offers new limited edition cases and scents each month.
We love variety.
Go Wild today with a special discount of 25% off your first order when you use code TRASHY at checkout.
Go to wearewild.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
One more time for the people in the back. wearewild.com and use code TRASHY at checkout. Erica, if I can be real, I'm worried about the planet.
Hey, Cass, it's a comedy podcast.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, well then let me just jump to what I wanted to bring up. Have you heard of Sun and Swell Foods?
You mean the nation's first online plastic-free grocery store?
Yes, that's what I mean. I want all the baby trash cans out there to have a chance to shop the assortment of delicious, healthy foods in plastic-free compostable packaging.
I read by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So imagine if we had access to yummy, plant-based, gluten-free, real foods without the plastic packaging.
Well, Sun and Swell is a women-owned small business based in Santa Barbara who are offering people just that. Oh, and BTW, if you don't have access to compost to ditch the packaging after you're done, they have a send-back program. They are not wasting anything, babies.
So, if you're looking for a more planet-friendly pantry, shop Sun and Swell and get 20% off site-wide when you go to sunandswellfoods.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
That's 20% off your entire order when you use TRASHY at sunandswellfoods.com.
And welcome back. Let's get into our first story. We've been gabbing. Girl, we've been gabbing.
We've been gabbing.
All right. Let's
Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom. That guy wants to be president.
Oh my God, he wants it so bad. It's like, Gavin,
is embarrassing. Okay, it's like,
can I say something bad though? And like, people are gonna hate me for it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they won't. I'm gonna admit it. Like, I like Gavin Newsom.
I do too.
I like him.
I do too. I mean, I wish he would
Okay.
actually like do some shit, but I do like him. Like, and
Like,
here's the thing.
I don't love that he's like a winery like guy who like
See,
eats
that's
the
why
French
I like
Laundry.
him.
Like, okay, but like it's like, yeah, like I don't know, like I like him. Like I
don't
whatever.
I don't want my politicians fake eating at a coffee shop amongst the common people. I want you to be like, hey, I'm from the ruling elite and I'm going to eat at French Laundry, which if you don't know, it's an very expensive exclusive restaurant in the Napa region of California.
Valley.
Like,
yeah,
$800 plate kind of place. But like, I don't like this, like, I'm Ron DeSantis. I wear cowboy boots. I'm one of the people.
Come down here and get a French dip at this strip mall.
Fuck you. You don't eat there. You don't eat there. You never step foot in a place like that besides to pander and get votes. Like, at least Gavin Newsom. And was it embarrassing when he was caught at French Laundry? Caught in quotations. But I'm like, yeah, at least he's being, like, yeah, I'm better than all these folks. Yeah, of course.
It was like during COVID. It was during COVID. It was
hugely during COVID and not good.
Yeah, it was like not. It wasn't a good. It wasn't a good look.
Like catch a politician at a place like that. Like, don't pretend you're eating at the hometown Denny's. You're not.
The names that I've heard for him are Gavin Nuisance. For people who don't like paying high taxes in California.
That's very good.
I've also heard Gavin Mussolini when it came to
fascism.
California having very strict mask policies. But like, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I like him. Okay, we have to stop it. He would never be caught dead in a Bass Pro Shop in Alabama, and that is the setting for our very first story because it's trashy.
Unless he's running for president, in which that asshole will be at every Bass Pro Shop, being like shaking hands with Mimi that works in the gun department.
Bass Pro Shop and like Cabela's, they're like pretty incredible stores.
I was about to say, as a buyer, as someone who buys and likes to shop, I love a Bass Pro Shop. Do I need anything inside of a Bass Pro Shop? Absolutely not.
No.
But am I impressed by the girth of a Bass Pro or a Cabela's?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. I'm sorry. APnews.com. Here's how this headline goes. And this is sent in by Brian James O'Connell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You're helping. Nude man nabbed by police after cannonball plunge into giant aquarium at Bass Pro Shop in Alabama.
Now, if you're one of our listeners who did know what the French Laundry was, but don't know what a Bass Pro Shop is,
because I
don't know where those Venn diagrams meet, but Bass Pro Shops are humongous Costco-size stores where outdoor business, and very frequently, and Cabela's is the same, very frequently they have some sort of like taxidermy setup, or in this case they have a giant aquarium with fish on display.
Think a natural history museum meets a super Walmart.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
A man crashed his car outside of a Bass Pro Shop in Alabama, stripped down to his birthday suit, and plunged into the giant aquarium inside the store, police said. He was a 42-year-old. He did a cannonball, and then he stood under the waterfall, and then he left the water to yell at two officers, and then he dove back into the aquarium, as you do.
In my head, he's playing that The Rest Is Unwritten song in his head. He's like,
oh. Standing at the Bass Pro Shop before you,
me.
Looking at the dirty aquarium. Let the sun illuminate my dick and balls, and I'm going to jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Feel
the rain on your skin. The theme song, Splash. The theme song from The Hills.
Yes, that was him. This was his internship in Paris moment, like.
Yeah, like he's just fresh from high school in Orange County, and now is going to make it as a fashion designer in LA.
Luckiest fucking person in the world.
What?
Everyone from Laguna Beach and the luckiest fucking people in the world. Because guess what? Not a one of them has
student debt.
Link. Student debt, but I was gonna say a link of fucking talent, or are interesting people. I'm sorry, I'm taking an anti-Hills and Laguna Beach stance, but I love reality, but you have to have some flavor of personality to me. And not a fucking one of them did to me.
It's interesting because it was such a moment in time. Because I watched these shows and I was like,
oh, absolutely.
Damn, I would be down to live in that Park La Brea complex right across the street from the Grove. Like that's something to aspire to. Like I want to live there with Audrina Patridge, but. Yeah. When you rewatch, if you ever have, I did one episode and I was like, can't do this, gonna let it live in the past. You're like, this is a 22-minute show because it has commercials, and a good 12 minutes of it is dedicated to montages of LA cityscapes. So it's
all just exterior shot montages and then someone going, do you have the reports in?
You're consuming, it's kind of like when you're like, when people say, oh, when you watch football on TV, you're only watching technically 30 minutes of football, even though it's 3 hours long. The Hills is you're only watching about 8 to 10 minutes of story, even though it's 22 minutes long. So, just sorry. Let it live in the past where it was. But speaking, go ahead.
I was gonna say, here's the great thing about this is that now we know what the 911 to police show up time is, because he was in the water for about 5 minutes before the police arrived. So if this is like an adult bucket list, Make-A-Wish type situation, and you're like, man, I'd also like to swim with those giant bass in a Bass Pro Shop, you got 5 minutes before the cops are going to get you. So what's the jail time to 5 minute swimming with the water ratio for you? That's a risk reward factor you have to make. But just know it's going to take the cops in Alabama about 5 minutes to get there for you.
I wonder if that's why there's no Bass Pro Shops in LA, is because the cops take much longer than 5 minutes to show up.
Cassandra, this may be a Patreon exclusive. I don't know, but I was about to citizen's arrest. I was pissed beyond.
That's a Patreon exclusive.
That's a Patreon exclusive. Anyway,
speaking of things you can't leave in the past.
Nope. From Vice.com.
I don't even know if that transition worked, but if it didn't make sense, I guess you should subscribe to the Patreon. Sorry. It's 2024. Patreon in. A man escaped prison after a botched penis enlargement.
It was almost a perfect plan if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
So a 37-year-old man was serving a sentence for theft in prison in a city in Thailand when he started to feel pain in his private parts. Ouchies.
Before being put in prison, he had underwent a series of injections to enlarge his penis. He was then admitted to a local hospital after his genitals became severely infected. However, during his stay at the hospital, he came up with a plan to escape. He called his wife, who had then allegedly smuggled in a pair of pliers.
So he went into surgery on Friday to deal with his messed up junk. And then hours later, he escaped because he used the pliers to cut through his ankle chains at around 2 a.m. There's videos that are published online, and they show him hunched over and limping towards a nearby elevator.
Ooh, so when the hospital officials noticed that he was gone from his 7th floor room, because I guess he didn't put just a series of pillows underneath the sheets to form a body.
Yeah, he really missed like the whole like Ferris Bueller sort of like you have to record yourself snoring and kind of like rig it up so that like the pillow body like moves like when you open the door kind of thing.
Yeah, the string rigging on the roof so where the door
it's just like shoddy work.
It's just honestly, we should
much
teach
like
a class.
his penis injections. Not done well.
So this is my favorite part is that the hospital staff was like, he couldn't have gone far because he still had a urine tube inserted in his penis. Like,
follow the yellow brick road.
Right, like any detective movie is like, he couldn't have gotten far without this.
It's just like a bag of piss. They captured him on Sunday, about 28 hours later, on the roof of a nearby building. He told police that after fleeing, he ran into the forest, he threw the pliers away, and then he climbed a power pole onto the roof of the hospital, staying there and hiding under a black bag in a lot of pain until he was discovered. And his wife admitted prior to that she did smuggle in the pliers because, she told authorities he missed his family, which is like, okay.
And by his family, she was pointing at her vagina, like, he misses his family.
I wanted to see what that dick was like now that he did this. And it's like, you guys didn't time out when he was going to get arrested when he got his surgery. It makes sense.
Yeah. Again, we should teach a class. But, here comes somebody that, a blast from the past, really, a familiar story, both past and future, a persistent, always happening, a Florida man story.
From Newsweek.com, a Florida man is caught feeding a wild alligator. He resisted arrest. He said, he's a good boy and he loves bagels.
This was what the alligator said about the Florida man. He was like, he's a good boy. He loves bagels. Don't arrest him.
A Florida man who allegedly a Florida man who allegedly resisted arrest after being caught illegally feeding an alligator named Hank in his neighborhood. Are you a wild alligator anymore if you've been named? That's what I want to know. But he was in a neighborhood pond, and he described the beast as this good boy and a good friend. This is a 67-year-old man, and he got a citation from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission.
Okay, this is unrelated, but I feel like I have a story. I have a plan to unearth Bigfoot.
Okay.
And here it comes from having a name, right? So we start saying, oh, Bigfoot, you mean Frank Mortensen? You mean this? And then we start telling lies about Bigfoot, but stating them as if they are fact.
Wow.
To the point where Bigfoot, Big Feet, the Feet clans are going to come out and be like, and host their own press conference and be like, we just want to dispel some of the rumors going around about us. Because on the internet, if you have a question, if you're like, hey, how do I find the square foot of X? Nobody might answer your question, right? But if you say, the way to find the square foot of X is this, and it's incorrect, you'll have 50 people in your reply stating, actually, it's this, and it's the correct answer, right? It's called a phenomenon of something. But this Hank, the alligator and the Florida man have me thinking, if we just if we put a Florida man as the spokesperson for Bigfoot and start stating false facts, I think Bigfoot would come out of the woods and be like, actually, I'm a vegetarian. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we could, I'm just, it's brewing. Bigfoot's always on my mind. I feel like this is the way to do it.
Yeah, it's just like whether or not Bigfoot has the strength to let these rumors go, I think in this story that snitches get stitches, because this guy would not have even been caught feeding this alligator had a neighbor not reported him to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. Now, all that to be said, I have complained about the squirrels in my alley before, and I do think that it is because my neighbors were feeding them. And so if this alligator was a nuisance to this neighbor, then perhaps it is kind of like, I need this guy to stop feeding it. But the guy said, or he added this, he said, It's illegal. It's totally illegal to do it. Did I know that? No. Did I know that I couldn't feed a turtle? Alligators? Yeah, I kind of knew that. I don't know. Maybe I'm Dr. Doolittle. So he copped a big attitude.
And, that's just kind of how you got to be, I guess.
Well, this next story is about another senior citizen copping a huge attitude.
Yep. From TamarakTalk.com. Senior citizen wreaks havoc during DMV eye exam and faces charges for equipment demolition.
So it's a 64-year-old man. He wreaked havoc, and this is another Florida man, by the way, in the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles. He needed to resolve some issues with the listed address on his driver's license, but then the situation escalated when the workers informed him that he also needed to retake his photograph and retake his vision exam test, which I recently changed my last name last year, and they made me do the same thing. They're like, you got to get a new picture and you got to get a new eye test, which my picture on my driver's license before was so cute that I was like, ugh, please don't do this. And then they zoomed in on my face, so the tightest crop I've ever seen. And don't just tell me no, Cassandra, your face has just gotten bigger in the past 6 years. You think I don't know that? Zoom out a little bit, my driver's license now is like a pancake because they zoomed in so tight on my face. But I didn't cause the same issue as this gentleman. I just kind of went along with it. I let it happen to me.
Damn, dude. R.I.P. the good driver's license photo,
I know.
Did you get belligerent, though? Did you cause a disturbance?
I didn't. So at the mention of the vision test, this man got super upset. He raised his voice, and then he eventually agreed to comply, but then he insisted on closing one eye during the vision test, which I thought was kind of what you were supposed to do. But anyways, they were like, no, that's not allowed. It actually counts as cheating. And then he started yelling and screaming, and then he slammed his hands on the table, threw a printer and the eye examination machine across the room, making a dramatic exit through the emergency exit, triggering an alarm. Wow, what a bucket list item that is, to use an emergency exit.
Oh. Okay, this is a Patreon exclusive, but let me talk to you about emergency exits.
With this man, I'm curious. I wonder if his family was so relieved. What if they've been trying to take away his keys
100%
for a while?
For years. Yeah.
And he just refused, and they were like, finally, thank God, the DMV is just doing something about this.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's a thing. But you know what else is a thing? Sponsors. Hey, do you want to start your own podcast?
Cass, are you breaking up with me?
No, not you. The baby trash cans.
Oh, so they should use Zencastr like we do.
It is so easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. You log on your computer, you press record, and you've got yourself on the road to making a studio quality podcast.
It's an all-in-one platform too, y'all. So you just create your podcast, then Zencastr does the rest, distributing it to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major podcast destinations.
Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code TRASHY to get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan.
That's Zencastr, skip the last D.
We want you to have the same easy experiences that we do for all of our podcasting and content needs.
It's time to share your story.
Again, that is zencastr.com/pricing for 30% using promo code TRASHY.
Zencastr.com/pricing. Use code TRASHY at checkout.
Erica, if I can be real, I'm worried about the planet.
Hey, Cass, it's a comedy podcast.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, well then let me just jump to what I wanted to bring up. Have you heard of Sun and Swell Foods?
You mean the nation's first online plastic-free grocery store?
Yes, that's what I mean. I want all the baby trash cans out there to have a chance to shop the assortment of delicious, healthy foods in plastic-free compostable packaging.
I read by 2050 there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. So imagine if we had access to yummy, plant-based, gluten-free, real foods without the plastic packaging.
Well, Sun and Swell is a women-owned small business based in Santa Barbara who are offering people just that. Oh, and BTW, if you don't have access to compost to ditch the packaging after you're done, they have a send-back program. They are not wasting anything, babies.
So, if you're looking for a more planet-friendly pantry, shop Sun and Swell and get 20% off site-wide when you go to sunandswellfoods.com and use code TRASHY at checkout.
That's 20% off your entire order when you use TRASHY at sunandswellfoods.com. Sometimes a story comes along that has a little bit too much juice.
The juice.
Or maybe not enough. You know, maybe not enough.
And that's why we got to cut that.
Yes, we have a segment. We cut that. And let's get right into it. From local21news.com, Harrisburg man charged for shooting at woman he paid to urinate on him.
You know, there's a lot of twists and turns and a lot of ways we could go. And I honestly just don't have the effort today. It's all in the headline. Our next one comes from foxnews.com. Apologies. Florida man hurls sausages at older brother during disagreement. Emergency responders use saline solution to wash out the victim's eyes. And, we cut this because who amongst us haven't thrown a sausage at a sibling during a disagreement? Cast the first stone if you're not throwing a sausage at a sibling during an argument, Was it not he whomst hurled the first sausage that ultimately became the president? George Washington said that once. We have from Fox35Orlando.com, a drunk tourist sexually molests manatee statue at Florida restaurant after being asked to leave. Okay. I feel like we would have covered this one because at the first I didn't read the statue part, and I was like, we can't have tourists out here molesting manatees. But a statue? I think that my issue with the story was that this story is about a drunk guy acting like an asshole. That's the story. But the way that they kept emphasizing, and then he sexually molested the manatee statue. I was like, I don't know what he did because they don't get into it, but like people are pretty up in arms about this, and I don't think we need to touch it. That was where I was at. Because he probably just put his fingers over where the nipples were. It went boing, oing, 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 oing. But who knows? We don't know because we're not covering it, so we'll never know. Yeah. Final one comes to us from dailydot.com. A Blaze editor who posted their New Year's goals on 1/1/2023. Erica, why don't you read that person's tweet? Happy 23, y'all. Trust God, period. Spend time with family, period. Don't give up your rights, period. Shoot guns and watch college football, period. So that editor ends up shooting herself in the foot during a college football championship. She wasn't kidding. Like, her periods were in the right place. Shoot guns and watch college football were not separate thoughts. Yeah. Yes, let's take one quick final ad break before we get into our finale. The big show. Ugh, not another ad. Sorry, Cass, but Mama's got to pay the bills. Surely there's another way. Oh, there is. You can subscribe to the Trashy Podcast Patreon. That's ad-free episodes? And longer episodes. So much trash. And even sometimes we release bonus behind the paywall only content. Exclusive trash. Sign up for memberships as low as $1.99 per month at patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast.
So patreon.com/trashy podcast. Oh, that's fun. There's different tiers. Wait, what is this $200,000 a month?
Oh, at that level, we'll stop doing a public podcast and do a private podcast for you daily for one very rich, very cool listener. That's patreon.com/trashy podcast and sign up today.
Erica, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready. It's time for the dumpster fire of the week.
Oh my God. Pew, 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 pew. That's me shooting guns at the sky, just in excitement because Baby Trash Can, ABC7.com, Denver Zoo officials weren't sure of who fathered a baby orangutan, so they called in Maury Povich. It was between the male orangutan or the zookeeper Dave, and I just don't know who the dad is.
Wait, now, Erica, that's not true. Don't sully Dave's name. Or is Dave a Bigfoot? This is part of your big plan.
Let's get into it.
When the pregnancy of a Sumatran orangutan, Arena, Siska's mother, was confirmed. Ugh, God. You know, it's like you can't read it because these zookeepers just give so much of a shit what these animals' names are. Here's what's happened. 2024, I don't give a shit.
Oh, you went to school for zoo? Neat.
Neat. Wow, real cool. Oh, Siska and Arena? Shut the fuck up. Okay, so there was a baby orangutan that was born named Siska on August 27th, and they were like, we don't know who this child's father is because Arena has had some past relationships with two different male orangutans. And so they were like,
not shaming Arena for her choices. Okay.
No, we are not. We are just
a liberated orangutan. We are.
The only thing we're shaming is these zookeepers with their stupid names.
Okay. So Siska was born. They were like, we're not going to mess with their bonding time because we need to make sure that they pair well because, you know, we're keeping them in cages and fucking, you know, Denver instead of where they belong. But I love zoos, but like, I know it's bad, wrong. We shouldn't do this. But
it's like your iPhone. It's like, ugh. I love this thing, but I know
somebody was jumping off a roof to make it.
Yeah.
They have nets on the building because of the children that are making. We can't get into it. We simply can't.
It's not 2024 is not the year to be perfect.
So they waited a couple months before they could get a hair sample from the baby and the mom to compare them to the two male orangutans, Brini and Jaya. Okay, you zookeepers. Pay $300,000 for a PhD in zoo just so you can name things Barani and Jaya.
Like, give them nice, respectable names. Charles and George.
I'd be writing letters to the Denver Zoo if an orangutan was named Charles. I'd be like, excuse me.
So they were going to reveal the DNA test. And then one of the zookeepers was like, I have a degree in zoo. God, we're coming down on these people.
And a minor in PR.
Yeah. They were like, and then another minor in Christian literature because it was the only college my parents would pay for.
I'm sorry.
They thought to themselves, maybe we should see if 84-year-old Maury Povich, maybe we should disturb this man and see if he'll come to the zoo and do this. Can we leave him alone? Let him rest. So anyways, they reached out to like a former producer who then got him in contact with the assistant. They were like, yo, maybe you get hit up for this stuff all the time, or maybe this is unorthodox, but would you be down to come and help us with this orangutan bit? And Maury was like, yeah, he'll do it. So he showed up, and
I like that the assistant's like, yeah, I want to keep my job, which means he needs to continue to have jobs, so he'll do it. And Maury was just blindfolded and put in a limo, driven to Denver, and was like, what am I doing? And like, do the thing, Maury. You know the thing. Do the thing.
So he says, when it comes to, like his famous phrasing in line, when it comes to the orangutan 4-month-old Siska, Bahraini, you are the father. And everyone cheered. And
yeah, but Jaya's out there flipping tables going, I fucking told you I wasn't the dad. I fucking told you. He's just, flinging shit up in the air, throwing around bananas.
Yeah. It actually became quite a violent scene.
Barani's just sitting there with his hands in his hands in his head, head in his hands, shaking his head.
Arena gets up in Barani's face and says, I told you, and then she starts twerking. Yeah, it was a whole fucking thing.
I wish we had animation that we could. I wish one of us knew how to animate and we could make this whole scene. Oh, that's great.
Erica,
fun. Yes, dear.
We did our ins and outs, but I gotta know just in general for this week. Yeah. What are you hoarding?
Okay. Cass, I got you into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I feel as if you may have fallen behind. And you know what? That's okay.
I did. I'm not going to lie to you. I did.
Yeah, you're way behind. And that's okay. Y'all, I just want to tell you that the season finale of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City took place this last week, and it is one of the best finales of any housewife of all time. When I tell you on Housewives, we watched a woman get arrested for federal fucking crimes that she is now serving prison time with, Elizabeth Holmes, which is incredible. We watched that on Salt Lake City. We watched a woman look at another one and say, you smell like hospital. You smell like hospital. When I say this is one of the craziest finales I've ever seen and the best first season of a housewife, instant villainy come out, I'm still shook thinking about the details of what happened at this finale. So what I'm saying is, get into the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. This finale was phenomenal. It was so good. And you know what I ate that with? In my little girl dinner? In my little girl dinner while I was watching it, I watched it with the Raincoat Crisp, the rosemary raisin pecan crisp, as a part of my delicious girl dinner that I had last night. My little snacks. You can get them at Ralph's. They're very fucking expensive. They're like the version of those little crackers you get at Trader Joe's or Target's, but Ralph's has them and they're called Raincoat Crisp, but it's a rosemary raisin pecan crispy cracker that's shaped like a loaf of bread. Delightful, delicious. Yeah. I eat them with my little goat cheeses. Little cracker.
Did you, I guess you can cut this. Did you text Alina?
Oh no, I don't know if I have her number, but I should.
Oh, I'll get it to you. She texted our group chat being like, just finished the SLC finale. I've never seen anything better in my life. I feel high.
I'm not kidding. Like, I had a hard time sleeping. I was like vibrating. I was vibrating with it.
Yeah, you should reach out to her.
Great. It was phenomenal. I'm still just like, what do we see?
I gotta catch up. All right.
Yeah. What are you hoarding?
I'm hoarding. If you want to take yourself or a loved one, or perhaps, I mean, if we're talking about housewives realm, like perhaps like a friend of a friend that you are trying to like get closer to, even though all you guys do is fight at parties. But if you're looking to go and do something with someone, may I recommend Bitter Root Pottery Studio. It is in Los Angeles, like that part of LA. I think it's called West LA, where it's like off of Beverly. Like you're not at the Beverly Center yet, and you're not in WeHo, and you're not in Hancock Park.
Oh, that like almost like the mid Wilshire third, like between the Beverly Center and the Grove area.
Ish. You can Google it if you need to know the exact location. It is in that West LA area. But I took my husband on a surprise date there. We made bowls. Cute. It was really, really cool. It's a nice little class. It was like 2-hour class. Here's like the pros. So they have a couple studios, 2 of which are in this area. I think they have another one in like Culver or something. There's a ground floor studio, which I think is for like the more serious potters. And then they have a 5th floor studio, which is on the roof of this building. I'm talking 360 Well, that's not true. I guess the building's in the way. I'm talking 180-degree views, like big time views of Los Angeles. They have a koi pond out there and like swings, and you can do pottery on the deck. It was a little bit cold when we were there, so we had to do it inside, but we did still get to like explore the deck and take pictures and stuff. We had a really good time. And if you're anyone in this current day of social media, I mean, we were guilty of it too. And you see an opportunity to film yourself doing something other than your menial life where you just fart all day. They already provide little tripods in front of like every station, so you can get your iPhone set up to do a time lapse video of you doing pottery. So like we have the video. It's great. So yeah, Bitterroot Pottery in Los Angeles. It's a really nice date. Again, like there was a couple girls there who's like, I'm taking myself on a date. And I was like, good for you, because everyone's talking by the end. We know everybody. Like, you got a name tag on, everybody's chatting. Everyone's like, your bowl looks like shit. Mine too. Ha 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 ha. And then the instructor comes over and like fixes it. And you're like, how'd she do it? You know, it was cool.
Let me just tell you that if somebody ever tells me my bowl looks like shit, even if it's cut in half from my own hands, I would not be happy.
Maybe you had to be there.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I would be like, I know, right? You're right. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a piece of shit. that would be me. But
what are you throwing out?
Okay.
You people pleaser.
You people pleaser. Okay. The other day, I was in downtown Los Angeles. It's a place. And I saw a thing called a Capital One Cafe.
Oh, sure.
Are you familiar with these?
Yeah, I've got Capital One.
Oh, you have Capital
they have one? Yeah, they have one in Americana too. I've never been to the Capital One Cafe though.
Okay, so it's a coffee shop cafe where you can bank. I'm like, you can bank there. There's like, we proudly serve Verd coffee or whatever fucking coffee's good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, do they not? Is all of this shit free because I have a Capital One card? No, you're asking me to come pay money at your banking establishment. Do you not have enough of our fucking money? You're going to charge me $9 for a cup of coffee at your Capital One Cafe while I sit and do my remote job? Absolutely not. That is lunacy.
What's interesting about those too is that Capital One is not a bank that has a brick and mortar
presence,
like location, other than these Capital One cafes now. So it's not like, oh, do you want to go to the Chase Bank 3 blocks away, or do you want to go to the one 5 blocks away, but they also sell coffee? Mm-hmm. It's like, if you need cash and you don't want to do that in a 7-Eleven, you have to go to a Capital One cafe. It's pretty, I mean, I agree with you. It's kind of stupid.
Would you like sorry, hold on. My earbud fell. Would you like a $6 croissant that we bought wholesale from Costco and just repackaged here? Oh, also our interest rates start at 24.5%. So yeah, just enjoy yourself at the Capital One Cafe. I was like, this is when I throw the first brick against capitalism, I'm smashing the Capital One cafes. When we finally revolt, that's the first place I'm taking it, is the Capital One Cafe. I've seen those commercials and I thought it was like a joke. I thought it's like, oh, we have like a coffee stand like every other fucking bank. The little, colanders. Oh no, it's a full-on cafe. I was like, I hate this. Anyway, what are you throwing away?
No, we know that I go to IKEA. I've talked about it recently. Is that a funny sentence?
Yes.
Maybe that could be the title of the show.
We know I go to French Laundry. It's like, we know I go to IKEA.
No, we know I go to IKEA. I have a little bit of a bone to pick, though, because IKEA's whole thing forever has been, here's a way for you to furnish your apartment, like a low-cost way for you to furnish your apartment. And, like, you have to build your own shit, but it is what it is. And I find that they have revolutionized things. A friend of mine said something very insightful once. She said, as I was helping her build furniture that her and her wife purchased from West Elm. She said, we thought when we got older and we didn't have to shop at IKEA anymore, that we wouldn't have to build our own furniture anymore either. And here we are building things from West Elm, which, by the way, I despise West Elm. Anything you ever see online from like Wayfair or West Elm or All Modern or any of those places, like open the manual, look at the actual name of this product, Google it, or reverse image search it. You will find it on 4 or 5 different websites for all kinds of different prices. If you don't know this already, now you know. You're welcome. But here's the thing. IKEA, they make exclusive IKEA furniture only, but they are starting to up their prices. Not on everything. They still have like the Billy bookcase for like $60 that people are like buying 6 of and making their own built-ins in their houses.
Which is cute.
But like, it's very cute, but like still like the kind of rock hard rectangular sectional that you can expect to see in IKEA, they're trying to charge like $1,600 for that couch now. And it's like, excuse me? Like if I'm going to pay $1,600 for a couch, I'm going to buy a couch that is like higher quality that will survive more than one move. And then some savvy people on TikTok went back to, I don't know why this person had all these old IKEA catalogs, but they did. And they were able to find the same exact couch for like $500, I think, in 2019. So IKEA is like major greedflation kind of doing these things to their furniture. And I don't think it's chill. I mean, IKEA has some new brands right now where that like doesn't look super IKEA-esque. And so for that, if you want to charge a higher price point, I guess. But like when we're talking about your boxy couch or like your storage cabinet that only fits these specific cubes,
right?
Like things that scream, this was purchased at an IKEA, like your weird boxy coffee table. You need to keep those prices low. Otherwise, you're not offering anything that any other place is offering other than meatballs. Because I'm still on the ground fighting with my dog about how to put this stuff together. My dog is not another word for my husband. I realize how that sounded. The point is that you'll fight when you put...
Yeah.
Anyways, you're raising your prices too high. You're getting a little big for your britches, IKEA. Know your place. Stay in your lane. What you're doing is not fair and it's ridiculous.
Preach.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will say one more thing. If you're purchasing from Living Spaces, who does that whitelisted furniture kind of thing, the whitelisting being like if you reverse image search, you might be able to find the same thing cheaper. The one thing that Living Space offers is that if they deliver your shit, it comes assembled. You're not building anything.
And you get Living Spaces. The song. You get the song, which is like worth it to me.
All right, well, that's enough free advice. Unless you're on the Patreon, in which case, thank you for that paid advice.
Gaz, where can they find you?
Well, I have this thing going on right now. It's making me a little bit difficult to find unless you are in a very specific map of London. But basically, so I have this dog. Her name is Blue. And we have been searching for this. We've been searching for her lost toy. And she recently put her paw print on this map of London. And so we did a little dance, a skidoo, if you will. And we jumped into the portrait of London. And I am actually trapped there right now. So not only can you find me in this portrait of London, please find me in this portrait of London. I'm running out of food. I stopped feeding my dog days ago. And we actually could really use some help.
Normally I know your references, but I'm genuinely, I don't know where you are or what the hell you're talking about. And I love that because that's why we can't find you.
I'm shocked that you think that's a reference and that I'm not seriously stuck inside of a photo with my dog Blue. But
guess I'm an asshole.
Yep. You're just like much older than me. That's why you didn't get the reference.
Yeah, it's a generational thing. Yeah.
Where can the people find you? And more importantly, where can they find this podcast? Because it's 2024.
At Iconic Erica Curry on all of the socials. My Poshmark is at Iconic Erica. If you send me a message, I will give you a discount. You can find this podcast, most importantly, at trashytrashypodcast.com. We are Trashy Trashy Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, Spill. We mostly just post on Instagram and the old ticker talkers. We are no longer on Twitter or X or whatever it is called now. We have removed ourselves from that platform. You can find our t-shirts, merch, hoodies, sweatshirts, coffee mugs at trashytrashypodcast.threadless.com. And for ad-free episodes, you can go to patreon.com/trashytrashypod. That's for ad-free episodes, extended stories, longer versions of the podcast, Patreon asides at patreon.com/trashytrashypodcast. And you can send us stories to our email, which is trashytrashypodcast@gmail.com, or go to our website, trashytrashypodcast.com, and you can go ahead and send in any stories that you would like for us to cover. As always, use code TRASHY for all discounts, baby trash cans. It's a new year. There's going to be more trash. It's going to be fantastic. We appreciate you for all the support, and we're out. Hey, Cass.
What's going on, girl?
Stay garbage.
You stay garbage, girl.
I will. Bye-bye.
Bye.